I don't know if I was like a canary in a coal mine and I could sense that something was about to happen. I don't know. But awoke this morning to have quite a lot of incoming mail from Gumpers with visuals like the one you just saw on the screen. And I've set up a quick survey and we've got some early results. But let's bring James in on that conversation because I think he was awoken at around that time this morning of 5:10 with a 5.4 magnitude earthquake here, well, near Portugal. And was it a bad prawn or was there actually some seismic activity occurring out in the Atlantic? Pete?
Maybe some beans, I don't know.
It's so puerile and immature. Yes, Darren, please, if you could raise the level of the conversation. And don't forget to vote and tell us. Actually, that would be great. We've had some voting in. I only put this survey up 15 minutes ago. 2 people said no. Did you feel the earthquake? No. 1 said yes. I think that was you, wasn't it?
That was me.
Yeah, and the fourth person, what earthquake? Yeah, Sismo. So, and I've also been singing the Carole King classic, Too Late. No, not Too Late. I Feel the Earth Move, which is a cracking tune.
Under my feet.
Yes, can't stop singing that this morning. I woke up but didn't know it was an earthquake. Well, now you know. Now you know, Darren. Anything else to report about it? What did you think? You're from California. No big deal, right?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple conversations already this morning with people on WhatsApp. The strange thing, the unique thing for me is I heard it before I felt it. There was a very bizarre, deep, low, pulsing sort of, my experience was I was hearing it, but I might have been feeling it. I don't know, but it was sort of this like that. And then, and it's, I wasn't sure that it wasn't a, big heavy loaded truck kind of on the road approaching, something like that. So I had never had that experience before, sort of like the vibrations ahead of it that were being pushed forward before the actual, release of energy. So that was new for me, and found out that I wasn't the only one who actually had that experience. But yeah, it's funny, the conversation was like, yeah, this is the first time I've felt an earthquake in Portugal from people who live here.
Really?
Or felt one that big. And I go, that was like 5 or 6 out of the top 20 I've experienced in my life in California, out of hundreds that you just don't even think about. There's an earthquake. I was
in the scheme of things then. I mean, how often would you feel something like that in California of that intensity?
That intensity, probably once every few years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I was actually in Santa Cruz in 1989 when the Loma Prieta earthquake hit. Of course, everyone calls it the San Francisco Oakland earthquake. And that actually is about 80 miles, or what would that be? Nearly 160 kilometers from where it happened. Santa Cruz was 8 kilometers from the center of that earthquake. So I was within about 5 miles when that one hit. Jeez, and that was 6.9 magnitude.
Okay. So, and very different to what you experienced this morning.
Yes, because a difference of a magnitude is 10 times, a 10-fold increase in the energy output. So between 6 and 7 is a 10-time more energetic output. So 6.9 versus a 5.4 puts us at a huge amount of difference of energy and the experience of it. So I'd felt quite a few shakes like that, and everyone seems a little bit different. The one in 1989, you could actually kind of feel the crust of the earth rolling. It's almost like, the experience was almost like that. And it was interesting, the walls in the apartment I was in, depending on how they lined up on that ripple, because when you see an earthquake from space, you can actually, it's like dropping a pebble in a pond. I mean, the crust is like liquid. It just goes and radiates out. So on some of the walls, everything was knocked over, and on other walls they were fine, depending, because it was kind of a perpendicular horizontal placement on the ripple that we happened to be on. And then the aftershocks were amazing. I mean, I'd never seen trees quiver. It was really bizarre. You'd be outside and this trees would be going, shh, but there's no wind. It's just like,
ooh, spooky. So yeah, it feels paranormal because things happen that we're not used to, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
accustomed to.
So this was relatively mild for my experience, but definitely felt it. I was definitely alert. I said, okay, we're having an earthquake. Is anything breaking? Is it increasing? Okay. And I was in bed and laid back and almost smiled. It was kind of like, oh, taste of home.
The table's over there if
or
I
what
need
used
it.
to be home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was clear I wasn't going to need it. It didn't last that long and it wasn't increasing. It just sort of rumbled and went through. And I think a lot of
first thing in the morning. Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of Californians have that attitude. They're not running for doorways unless it's getting bigger and it's lasting. Like the one in Santa Cruz lasted for, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. It just was kept going and going and going. It's like, oh, better head for some structure. I don't want
Yeah,
this building collapsing
when that
on me.
cowboy hat falls off the wall, that's when you know you're in trouble, right?
That would be a big one
That's
to
the
knock
sign.
that off. Yes.
My goodness. Okay, morning. There's a few good mornings. Who knew? But Sweden, Portugal, Anna likes a sun-warmed tomato. Fruit and veg warmed by the sun and eaten immediately is lovely, definitely. And that's
fresh off the vine too.
Yeah, I think Pete's boasting about his tomatoes, which does mean something significant here in Portugal.
Very different in Portuguese, yes.
Yes, Bob and Viv will be with us at 9:30 this morning. We both woke up at that time, but felt nothing in Pontalim. So other people feeling it, but not feeling it.
The vibe. Yes.
The vibe. But I mean, I'm so, I don't know, I'm so impressed and heartened by that it's a clue or an insight into the capabilities we have that are reawakened or we're made aware of in such a situation. That you felt it before you could feel the physical manifestation of it. You felt an energetic manifestation of it by the sound of it. Same with Bob and Viv. And
well, I think that's wired into our DNA. Again, back to survival. The people who didn't sense it coming were more likely to die and not have children than the people who said, "Ooh, we better take cover. Something's not right." They may not have known, oh, it means the earth is going to shake, but it's like they just knew they needed to take cover. And they survived and had children. So I believe it's in the DNA.
I think so.
Very subtle.
It's use it or lose it as well, though, isn't it? It's like intuition. If you poo it, if you think, nonsense, old James and Carl talking about the sixth sense, it was some beans they ate the day before. No, perhaps not.
And I don't even think this is a sixth sense. I think this is just part of our human sensing, whether it's sound or feel or whatever. It's in our DNA. We sense it. It's like when the hair raises on our skin, that's not an extra sense. That's just our body saying, ooh, something's going on. And when it happens when we don't know why, that's the internal part that we attribute to, ooh, maybe I'm psychic or something. In this case, I don't think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that great when your body is responding to something your conscious mind has not made a judgment about yet?
Yes. And it's a great argument for mindfulness. I mean, really.
Where are we? 13 minutes past 9. First mention, not bad. Not bad at all. 13 minutes past. Nicely done. Nicely done. Darren's neighbours would not have been surprised by the rattling this morning because I think they get it.
It's just Darren.
Yeah, it's just Darren down the corridor again, up on the 7th floor or whatever.
That's a big one this morning.
Yes, he must have been really busy yesterday. Talking about being a few stories up. Colleen, good morning to you, Colleen. Yes, we felt the earthquake in Stubal. I felt 2 in Indiana. So once I was awake, I knew what it was. So 5 stories up, a bit wobbly up there by the sound of it.
And apparently, this quake was nearly due west of Stubal and what's the other?
I have the location.
Sinish. Yeah.
Yes, Sinish. That's right. Well, that's the kind of news infographic that I suspect was hastily thrown together, or if you're a conspiracy theorist, they had it waiting. And
in the precise location.
Yes, we shouldn't laugh. And there is a Portuguese tweet that shows you a little bit more accurately, I think, or clearly, not accurately, but clearly to our eye, where it happened off the coast of Portugal. There, felt in Morocco apparently, and in the Iberian Peninsula. And Pete adding to this. Pete's always got great facts about things, and sometimes quite tangential facts. On this occasion, you do tend to hear them before you feel them. It is the intense eggy smell when they break the surface that is most discombobulating. I think that's Pete taking advantage of the situation, isn't it? Pete has probably crop dusted the bedroom, as it were, and then blames the earthquake.
Fumigated.
Yes, the UK has the most earthquakes according to science. That's interesting, isn't it? I guess on account of it being a maritime and deeply sensitive country, perhaps the UK
maybe
has
a lot of gas. I don't know.